back home. And so this was sort of just the right decision, although I did have a little bit of internal resistance. I'm not going to lie, moving from the jungle back to Erie and the lovely winters that come along with it. But it was the right thing. And it's been wonderful to be back home closer to my family and also be able to contribute and to receive from this growing community, because there's just so much happening in this region now that I think is just really starting to sort of pick up and have this energy behind it. And so coming home and being able to be a part of that was a really exciting opportunity.
Great, great. And I apologize because I accidentally did not hit go live on the thing here. So we're jumping in. Monica was telling us about why she moved back to Erie. She was originally from Erie, left for a while, came back. And I don't know where my brain's at today. It's been kind of a week for me. So but we're here now. So Monica, you have a few different businesses. I want to talk about those real quick, and then how what we really want to talk about here today is the wonderful event that you have going on this summer for us, which I'm super excited about. So you have a couple of different businesses, and tell us where you're located and tell us about those.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for the invitation to talk about it all. So I'm in the world of spirituality, health and wellness, holistic living, mindful living, and I'll do just a little bit of backstory to share about that. So when I grew up here in Pennsylvania, I knew nothing about meditation, yoga. Like, it really wasn't a thing. It hadn't made it to this part of the world yet.
Yep.
And when I moved to Southern California in 2006, it was just like this mecca of being able to explore all of these different healing modalities and holistic practices. And so in 2008, I began my wellness journey, taking classes and all different types of meditations and wellness workshops, and really became sort of insatiable, right? I wanted to learn everything that I possibly could about these different wellness modalities. And my career at the time was in marketing and management. That's what I went to university for, and it's what I was working in. And in 2008, when the economy tanked, conveniently 6 months after I started my journey with yoga and meditation, I lost my job at a marketing firm. And I just kind of saw it as this opening to start to explore this whole new world that I had become so curious about and interested in, but probably wouldn't have had the courage to leave my cushy marketing job and really following that more traditional trajectory. So with this sort of opening and kicking the booty from the universe, I decided in that moment that I wouldn't take another job unless it had something to do with yoga or meditation.
Wow.
And yeah, it was definitely like a leap of faith for sure. And I spent many months looking for jobs, being turned down from different wellness centers, and eventually found my way to the Chopra Center for Wellbeing, and was able to get a foot in the door there. And I didn't even know who Deepak Chopra was at the time. I was such a brand new baby on my spiritual journey, but started working there and studying under Deepak and our co-founder, David Simon, and all of the other incredible teachers and visionaries that came through the doors of the center. And eventually went on to receive all of my certifications there in meditation, Ayurveda, yoga, went on to get my Reiki masters, laughter yoga, holistic leadership, all the things. Wow. Really very multi-passionate individual. And in 2015, I made the decision to leave the Chopra Center and start my own company called Soul Bear Wellness, which is sort of my introduction into entrepreneurship, because I had this vision of going on a bit of a soul journey and locating sacred sites to host people on retreat. So that was sort of where it all started, was wanting to start my own retreat company. And things have definitely evolved and taken off since then.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm just making notes.
Yeah, definitely.
Neat. So Soul Bear Wellness, in 2015, you did that. So do you do that here in Erie as well? Is that all part that's still going on? That's because you just said you just got back from a retreat a little bit ago, right?
I did, yeah. So I host retreats in Asheville, North Carolina. That's sort of the closest to Erie. But really, I didn't know where this business and where this vision was going to take me when I set off on it. Initially, I had planned to just go. I knew that Guatemala was sort of a destination for hosting retreats. So I decided to go there first. And initially, I was just going to go for a couple of months, kind of scout out the land, let things evolve. And a very good friend of mine, before I was leaving San Diego to go down there, he said, "Well, when you come back to San Diego, what are you coming back for?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. I guess I'll get another job or something. I'm not really sure." And he said, "Well, then why are you coming back?" And that planted such a seed of inspiration in my mind. I thought, well, geez, I don't really know. Like maybe I won't come back. And so I decided to actually sell everything that I own and move down to Guatemala with just a backpack and this vision for hosting retreats. And I thought, maybe I'll stay for a couple of months, maybe a year, who knows. And that ended up turning into 9 months in Guatemala and then eventually 6 years in Central America. So that for a long time was sort of like the hub of where I would host my workshops and retreats. And I do still have annual retreats there in Guatemala and in Panama.
Wow, I'm glad I asked those questions. That is super cool. That is super cool.
Yeah. So those are kind of my roots. Like that's where my heart is. And, not to get too woo woo, although I think your audience is open to it. I'm fairly certain that I was part of, Mayan culture in a past life. It's come to me in many different regressions and meditations. So I have like a real deep love of hosting adventure experiences there. And throughout the years of running Soul Bear, I reconnected with one of my dear sisters from the Chopra Center. We worked there together, and she lives in Asheville. And that's kind of how we started evolving together to host women retreats in that region.
Neat. That is amazing. That is wonderful. You also you have Studio 99 Yoga and Wellness as well out in Edinboro?
Correct.
So what do you do there? What does that facility do? And tell me more about that.
Yeah, definitely. So, for a long time while I was sort of living as an intentional nomad and living home free, as I like to call it, I would teach in every city that I traveled to. So if I was going to visit friends or family, or I also speak at conferences. So if I was going to a certain city to speak at a conference, I would always try to host a wellness workshop at a local yoga studio.
Okay.
And so throughout the years of practicing and teaching and coming home to Erie, I've had the immense pleasure of teaching at almost every space in this town on different trips home. And it was 2 years ago, about 6 months before we decided to move back here, I taught at what was then called Power Yoga Borough. I went and did like a full moon chakra flow workshop there. And it was beautiful, lovely community, lovely space. When I did decide to move back, I continued teaching in that studio. Eventually, the owner asked if I would support her with marketing and management, giving my background in those two areas. And then eventually, after several months of that, she decided that she actually wanted to sell the studio and kind of step down from her role as owner and focus on teaching. And so there was a little bit of a, gosh, do I really go from gypsy to like having a house, a car, a brick and mortar business? Like, who am I? What's happening?
Right. That's a transition, but
it's a rooting down. But, it just was the right thing. And another incredible woman, Regina Rupert, who was part of the community, she said, well, what if we partner? What if we bring our talents together and we partner? And so we transitioned from Power Yoga Borough to Studio 99 Yoga and Wellness so that we could really start to encompass all different modalities of yoga, all different modalities of healing. Regina and I are both Reiki masters, and so we offer attunements and treatments in the space as well. And we feature workshops in all different kinds of health and wellness practices.
Okay. So for both of those businesses, Soul Bear and the Studio 99, and I'm asking even just for myself, do you have some websites? I'll put those up. Do you have newsletters that people can sign up for and stuff?
Yes, we have an email list for both the studio and Soul Bear. I will say that it's not like every single Tuesday at 5 a.m. we're sending this email. It's very sporadic, but it's an opportunity for people to stay in touch with what's going on and what the offerings are.
Yes, that's exactly what I will definitely be signing up for that. I would love to explore both of those, the facility itself, and I'd love to stay up to date on any type of retreats. And I'm sure the people watching would too. Yes. So that's great.
Definitely. Yeah. I will share just one little plug for the studio. Your first class is free. So by all means, like come check it out, see our space, hang out with us. And we've got yoga for every experience level. So we'd love to see folks there.
Awesome. I love it. Love it. I'll be out for sure.
Yay, come visit.
So now leading up to where we're at today, right? So I happened to see Terry Seth post, and I think she may have jumped the gun. Am I correct on this? She had jumped the gun a little bit and had posted about the Soul Fest celebration that you have coming up here in June. And not only did I, but did several other wellness practitioners go, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
Who's doing this? What is going on? Because I'll tell you what, it was so, and this is a testament to obviously your background, the images and just the way you had the website set up, you could tell it was done very professionally. And it just really, really stood out. So when I saw it, I was like, who is doing this? This is not somebody from Erie. This is somebody who's had some experience outside of Erie. So tell us about your inspiration for Soul Fest and what's going on.
Yay. It's very exciting. And I know I definitely had a panic moment. I reached out to Terry. I'm like, Terry, update the caption. People are like, who the hell is this woman?
Yes.
Yeah, and so it's really exciting. So one of the things that I felt very excited about coming back to this region is how up and coming it is in the terms of health and wellness and self-care and spirituality. Because I will never forget after I, sort of was on those first initial stages of my journey, and because I was such a total spirit nerd, like I wanted to take every class, everywhere, everything. And I came home to Erie for my first trip after living in this mecca of Southern California. And I was like, I'm going to take all the things. What's going on? And I think there was like one yoga class that I could find. I'm like, oh, okay. Like it's not quite there yet. That's cool. And that has changed so much since 2008. And now there is so much that's available here. And with our perfect positioning, like in between Pittsburgh and Cleveland and Buffalo, like we really have this opportunity to serve as a gathering place for like-minded individuals. And one of the things that was so just foundational and critical in my own journey of self-discovery and soul development was being able to go to longer festivals and wellness events where it wasn't just a 60-minute yoga class and it ends before your transformation even begins, right? To really like steep myself in a whole day, or in some cases, multiple days that are dedicated to going deep within the practices and kind of like peeling back those layers that harden us sometimes in our day-to-day life. And so I was really excited to find that sense of community here in this region. And I started looking around and I'm like, well, there really isn't the thing that I would like to attend. And so why don't we create it? And this little seed was sort of planted a year and a half ago. I wasn't quite sure exactly how it would come to be. And last fall, I was walking along the bay. I actually live downtown, right on State Street, because I wanted to be in the heart of everything when I decided to move back here. And my partner and I were walking on the bay and we wandered into Liberty Park. I had never been there before. Okay. And it was one of those sparkly, everything is perfect moments. Like the sun was setting. It was one of those like world-class Erie sunsets, and the full moon was rising over here on the other side of the hill. And I'm looking around, I'm like, this is where we need to have it. It's a summer solstice thing. Let's call it Soul Fest. Let's do it. And I'm not even kidding you, within like a month, everything just started unfolding. And it's been such a whirlwind that I think now, especially getting closer to the event, there have definitely been moments of like, what in the heck was I thinking? This is so huge.
Yes.
Thanks to folks like you who are in support of it, and all of our incredible teachers and facilitators. Like it is just coming together so beautifully. And I feel so honored to like usher this next evolution of how we get to gather as a spiritual community in this region together. I think it's just so exciting.
I'm excited because, part of the reason why I'm even doing this is I feel like the pandemic really scattered a lot of us, right? Our
Mhm.
community itself, our clients weren't able to come in. We've lost relationships because of that, and I think we really lost. I don't know, and I don't know if it's just me or if other people have felt this, but it just felt like we lost our heart. You know what I mean? And I feel like it's all starting to kind of come back together. Like really this year, people are really starting to come back into our facilities and being comfortable with being close with people. And that's what I feel like Soul Fest is going to be, that kickoff for we're back. We're here to do this, and so that's why I'm really, really excited about this and to bring all of us back together, right? And
Mhm.
like you said, to bring that heart of our community together. So I'm super excited about that.
Mm.
Tell me, tell me what, tell me what the day is going to look like. Tell me what you have going on.
Great question. So it is an entire day event, and we start at our kickoff with opening meditation is at 10 a.m., but the gates will open to guests at 9. So you all can come in and get settled, get your space picked out, and then it's all day long until 9 p.m. So it's sort of divided into two distinct areas. Well, I guess three really. So there's the main stage, and I'm sure many folks watching are familiar with Liberty Park, right? We've got that beautiful amphitheater that's right on the bay and the grassy knoll facing the stage. So that's where we're going to feature experiential workshops in all different types of health and wellness modalities. So I was actually just chatting with, I've been going to the local boxing gym for the past couple of weeks and was chatting to the guy about Soulfest. And he said, oh, yoga to me is like what boxing is to you. There's no way I could do it for a whole day. And I'm like,
Mhm.
well, listen, nobody can. Like, that's a lot of yoga. And
Right.
so the whole point of this is that we're featuring lots of different health and wellness modalities. So we have ecstatic dance, power yoga, gentle yoga, mat-based Pilates, transformational breath work, which is more of like a meditative experience internally. We also have sound healing with crystal bowls and Native American flutes. There's a really fun interactive workshop I'm excited about called Experience the Drummer in You. And it's how to like use drumming and percussion to elicit mental and emotional well-being as well. So every hour we have 45-minute classes that are taking place on the main stage. And for some folks, there might be a few sessions that they're like really, really excited about, and other sessions that they're like, that's not really my cup of tea. So the idea is that you can participate in the big classes if and when it feels right for you. And then in addition to that, we have our Healing Art Sanctuary, which are one-on-one sessions with incredible healers, including lots of folks from the Compassionate Heart community, offering mini sessions in Reiki, Washa, therapeutic massage, astrological reprocessing, tarot reading, bone and charm throwing. That way, there's this opportunity to have some one on one guidance and sort of like divination and intuitive support, in addition to the large group experiences, right? So that people can really take care of themselves. Like if they want to be a part of the big experience, they can. And there are these smaller, more intimate moments to sort of sneak off and get that individualized support. And then right next to our Healing Arts Sanctuary, we have a vendor village. So it's a lot of incredible handmade therapeutic products, aromatherapy products, beautiful handcrafted jewelry and candles, in addition to lots of different healthy food vendors. Vegan and vegetarian options are available. And it's just a day to really like dive deep, be held in community, celebrate yourself, be committed to self-care, and hopefully learn some new things along the way that folks can bring back with them, deepen their connections and deepen their spiritual practices.
Question. So I'm imagining people being there all day, and especially with the beautiful grassy knoll that they have out there.
Mhm.
Would it be advantageous for people to say bring their own chairs, a blanket, be able to set up their own little area that they can, sit with their friends, like almost like a little, like well, it's a festival, right? So
Yeah.
plan on making it's a whole day thing. are they allowed to bring chairs? Like, so that they can have a little area they can go back to, hang out with their friends, meet other people on the grassy knoll, and then go do whatever they want to do when they want to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, one of the big inspirations for Soul Fest is a festival that I've attended many, many times called Bhakti Fest out in California. It's a 4-day event. And at the main stage, people really do. They like set up their blanket, their chairs, like that's your spot.
Okay.
And so that's what we encourage folks to do at Soul Fest, and why we're sort of opening it up a little early. And definitely do, if you're watching and you're curious, like go check out our FAQ page, because we've got a lot of great information there. But we want you to make it like your living room, right? Where you've got your tapestry, your mats. If folks are bringing chairs, we just recommend that they're like the low, kind of more like beachy sand chairs rather than high chairs, just because people will be on mats behind you, and we want to make sure everyone's got great visibility. But yeah, like get comfortable, make it your own space, and really just plan to kind of like camp out and veg out and enjoy all day.
Oh, I love that. Now that I feel like I can have my own little spot, right? Instead of just being wandering around all day, that makes me feel a little bit more comfortable as far as being an attendee to something
Yeah,
like that. So yeah, I love that. Yeah.
that's a great clarification. I appreciate that.
Yeah. What else? Let me see here. I wanted to ask, you already went over as far as what's going on in the vendor. Are you able to name some of the food trucks that are going to be there? Who's going to be there for the vending area?
Yeah, so we have Ipa Pizza that will be there in the morning. So they'll be there for the first half of the day. Fresh Healthy Cafe will be there all day, serving smoothies and wraps and paninis. Erie Juice Jar will also be there all day with their cold pressed juices, their Buddha bowls. I think they might be doing smash burgers. I'm not sure. And little like wellness shots. We have Parista Cat Cafe that will be there doing iced teas and coffees. Sunday Vegan Desserts will be showing up in the afternoon with her ice cream, vegan ice cream, because who doesn't love a nice afternoon ice cream break in the summertime?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're very excited.
So, Monica, as the founder of Soulfest, what do you want people to take away from this day? What do you hope carries on from them after they leave here?
That is a really great question. My intention, and this really is stemming from my own personal experiences with attending festivals, is that it elicits something within each person that like reignites their commitment to their self-care. Because life is very busy and we all have the best intentions, and it's really easy to like get on a routine of taking care of ourselves, of making sure that we're supported in community, of intentionally connecting with like-minded humans who talk the way that we talk and care about the things that we care about, and are really able to sort of like go deep into the more soulful and spiritual aspects of being human, and not just so preoccupied with the busyness of the day to day. And it's also really easy to fall out of that routine, right? And let the day to day take over. And so I see a day like this, a festival like this, as an invitation to come back to the heart of soulful community, come back to the heart of spiritual practices, either sort of reconnect with practices that we know and love, or discover new practices that we didn't even know we were missing from our life, and just sort of like recharge our batteries so that as we go on beyond the day, it's easier to sort of let that sense of self-care and that sense of soulful living be centered in the way that we show up every single day.
Oh, that is a wonderful answer. I love that. I love that.
Oh, and I will share one thing that I forgot to say, and goodness gracious, at the very, very end of the day, after all of the workshops are done, the vendors are closed, the healers are closed, we have an amazing sunset live music performance by a great musician called Mystic Fool. He's from the other side of Pennsylvania, and he's kind of in the realm of like a Trevor Hall, Nako, like spiritual lyrics, but a little bit of rock and roll. They're super fun, and literally the sun will be setting at the exact same minute that the show is ending. So it truly is this like celebration of the sun and the summer solstice all coming to fruition. So we'll end it with a great big dance party.
Oh, I just got the chills. I'm excited. That does sound like fun. That does sound like fun. And so this is the first Soul Fest. What do you envision happening from here? Do you plan on doing this every year? What, I mean, of course you'll see how things go, but what's your vision, your bigger vision for all this?
Yeah, thanks for asking that. I absolutely would love for this to become an annual summer solstice event. I always try not to get too far ahead of myself with things, right? I'm like, let's get through the first one and we'll see what happens. We'll tweak it. But my intention is for this to become a foundational experience within the community that gets bigger and more vibrant and more colorful every year as we continue to grow together.
Do you see it becoming possibly a multiple day event?
A lot of people have asked that. Anything is possible. Here's what I'll say. You know, this was so humbling for me, Heather, because coming in as like, yeah, I'm an Erie native, but I'm new to the community, right? I just moved back and you all have been like laying the foundation and building this community and growing the roots. And so when I came back, I was like, hi, it's me. Can I play? Like, does anybody want to come play along and do this festival with me? And I thought like, okay, well, you know, if we can get 8 teachers that want to come teach, that'd be great. If we can get 10 healers that want to come heal, that'd be great. And we had so many people apply to teach and to have booths that we unfortunately had to say no thank you to some of the applicants. And that like, it broke my heart because you never want to say no, but like there's only so many hours in the day. Like literally we don't have space for more teachers than that. And it got me really excited because I was like, wow, like maybe there's something here where this can be even more expansive as we look to the future.
I think you really filled, I think that role of leading the charge on something like this, it just, like you have said, it's all kind of fallen into place. And I think Erie ourselves as a wellness community, again, I think the pandemic just kind of broke us all up. And I think we needed somebody to come in and go, hey, like bring us all back together and go, let's do this. And sometimes it's better to have that outsider come in and see something in us maybe that we haven't seen in ourselves, right? And just bring it all together. So I'm super thankful that you have swept in and done that. Your background and everything that you've brought to the table has just been absolutely amazing. And I'm super excited for all of this, the preparation for this, the day itself, and to see what happens from here on out.
Thank you so, so much for sharing that. And it's interesting when you asked about like, what do I see after Soul Fest, and really having this kind of more like esoteric conversation about like, make time for yourself, be rooted in community, right? It's a little bit vague, but if we talk about like serious, tangible, like quantitative results of Soul Fest, I envision, like, I see the potential in this community to become what I experienced, you know, living in a place like Southern California, where like the yoga studios are full and people are getting massages as a regular part of their self-care routine, and people are working with nutritionists and finding the sense of balance. And so it's not just this day that we come and we feel good and we go home. It's like we come to this day and we feel so re-inspired about our processes and our practices that like then we utilize the resources that are available in this community to their fullest potential.
Yes. Yes, I love it. I'm excited about all of that. Monica, is there anything else that you feel like we need to know about Soul Fest, that we need to know about you and where things are going?
I would just say that if you see me on the street, please come say hi. Because the one thing, so you might notice through this video, like I'm very animated and I'm very like loving and heart forward. And I also am like very socially awkward. I'm like, I don't know if that person knows me. Like, I don't want to be like the weirdo that just walks up and be like, hi, I saw you on Instagram. So please come like say hi if you see me on the streets. Like I'm really, really excited to be reconnecting with this community. Like, and I'm a shy girl at heart. So every like invitation, like you, Heather, were so kind to say like, do you want to come meet? Because like, I don't really know you, but I want to know you. Like, do you want to sit down together? that meant the world to me. So thank you for that. And I hope that we all get a chance to do that together at SoulFest. But I'm just really excited to be a part of this. And I will say one little plug for SoulFest. If you're watching this and you are planning on purchasing a ticket, we have a really fun giveaway going right now until the end of May. So make sure you buy your ticket before May 31st, and you'll be entered to win an Upgrade Your Festival package, which has a value of like almost $200. And the details are on our website for that.
Wonderful. And after we're done here, I'm going to go on to the broadcast here and make sure I put all that information underneath for people, so that information will be easily available for everybody.
Awesome.
Monica, I want to thank you so much for coming here today. I'm so excited for everything going on. I'm thankful and grateful that I saw Terry's post that day.
Yes.
It's amazing how just one little thing like that can spark a whole, relationship and just network and growth. And I'm very grateful that you're doing all of this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Heather, for inviting me to be here with you and your audience today. It means so much to me. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll be seeing you. You just stay right there. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody here and we'll catch up behind scenes here. Okay.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. All right, thank you, everybody. I am going to leave some information about SoulFest below here, and her other businesses as well. You can visit that, sign up for her newsletters, check out the website for SoulFest, and I do hope we get to see you all there that day, June 17th.